let's bring Josh Childress to the stage. Yeah, we can go right there. You want to take? Should be good. All right. So, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's just get right to it. So, 15-year professional basketball career in the NBA.
Yeah.
And yes, let's clap it up for that.
Thank you.
And as if that were not enough, you then set your sights on the entrepreneur space, in particular, real estate investment, VC. Talk to us about how had you always wanted to go into those spaces? How did you chart that transition from being a professional basketball player to being an entrepreneur and business owner?
Yeah, that's a great question. And once again, thanks to Genesis Bank for having me and hosting me, and for having me as a client as well. I really appreciate that. So, growing up, I understood that I wanted to be in the business. I didn't know what business, but some business. And over the course of my professional career, spent a lot of time around not only great players, but also great ownership groups, great businessmen, and understood that true wealth generation is created through business ownership. And so that was my mindset, and I continued to think through that over the course of my career. And once I retired, I was ready to hit the ground running with business. Now, as everybody in this area knows, it's hard. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's not an easy task. And I'm trying my best to navigate the space as best as I can, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Awesome. So when we thinking through kind of those early years of really starting to dip your toes into the entrepreneurial space, what were some of those initial challenges that you had to overcome en route to growing your business? Yeah,
it was a massive learning curve. I mean, I didn't go to business school. I didn't spend 2 years in an investment bank. I didn't, go through that process. So I had to learn through experience. I had to learn through partnership, which was fantastic. But more importantly, when you're an athlete, and I hadn't heard no that much in my entire life. I'm going out to raise capital. I'm going out to source partnerships.
Can I tell your wife that?
But it was humbling, hearing so many no's, but it also made us more resilient, more competitive. And I think as we're continuing to grow our business, we're going to continue to lean into relationships like we have, and continue to try to grow and do interesting things.
Awesome. So tell the people, talk to us about LandSpire, the inspiration for the LandSpire Group, what your core focus is, and what are you looking to accomplish?
Yeah, so LandSpire Group, from its infancy, was a real estate investment firm. We were focused on multifamily assets here on the West Coast. We have a number of projects here in Southern California, in Las Vegas, and we've evolved over time. So right now we probably have about 1,000 units, in our portfolio, and more recently, we've shifted our focus a little bit to sports, the sports ecosystem. And so why that's interesting for us is, number one, that's where most of my network and relationships are. But number two, you've seen a proliferation of, private equity and investment capital into the sports ecosystem. It's become investable. And, when you think about investment in general, you think about how can you create differentiation? How can you, find angles to win deals or to, be involved in opportunities? And that's what we're trying to see now. So we've invested in 2 sports platforms. One was the X Games, which is the action sports platform. And second, we invested in the Portland Thorns, the professional women's soccer club in Portland. But part of our third vertical is sports real estate. So as a part of our Thorns investment or any of the investments we're making moving forward, we're going to try to build out the facilities for these sports teams as well. So stadiums, arenas, training facilities, because we see a massive need across not only let's call it the big 4 leagues, NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, but also the more nascent leagues, which are the NWSL and the WNBA. Many of these leagues need facilities and these teams, and so our goal is to be a solutions provider for those groups.
Awesome. So speaking of kind of sports ownership, recently the NFL, voted to now open up to private equity, and, at a certain percentage, ownership of teams. What was that from your perspective? Was that kind of inevitable? Was that a long time coming? And what shifts do you think will happen as a result of that?
It was inevitable because the NFL was the last major league to allow private equity, and so NFL in the business sense is it's the big dog in the room. So them making that choice bodes well, but they also have a very selective group that they've allowed in. And professional sports in general is just capital intensive, it's big business. But I think what you're seeing in sports in general is this institutionalization that is really interesting because, I don't know if you saw like Showtime with the Lakers, and it was a fantastic show. Yeah. But you see the evolution of what used to be sports team ownership.
That single owner.
Right, to what it is now, which is a platform. It's not just a team, and it's not just a hobby. It is, it is the team, it's the real estate, it's the media, it's technology. These teams are sophisticated. We were talking the other day to the Sacramento Kings, in their arena, they were mining crypto. Right, they had a crypto platform, they had a media team, they have the arena, they have all the retail around the arena. So it's become much more than just a team. It's a platform build, and with that, you need more sophisticated capital to come in, which I think the leagues have gotten smart to.
Got it. So when you look at kind of your portfolio and the business that you all are doing and the investments that you make, is there a certain project? Is there a certain milestone that you can kind of think back and pinpoint and say that was transformative for my business? That moment, that project, really kicked the doors open for us, or really allowed us to go to the next level?
The athlete in me says no. Because you keep your head down, and every game is the championship, and so you have to lean into every single game, every single tournament, and so that's how I'm viewing every project. I look forward to looking up 2 years, 5 years from now, and seeing where we are. I think back to 4 years ago, and where we've come today. I've seen massive progress, and so I hope to continue that progress, for the time to come.
Excellent. So let's shift gears a little bit. So, beyond business and beyond sports, I know that you are very passionate about community. We've had conversations. I know you're very committed to community impact. Where does that passion for community come from, and how do you determine when and where you get involved in giving back to the community?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my passion for community comes from, just where I grew up. I'm from Compton, California. There are not a ton of opportunities for individuals like myself to, not only make it professionally, but also, transition into business. And what I have learned in doing a bunch of community work is that those kids aren't any less talented, aren't any less intelligent. They just don't have the same access and opportunity. And so the more we can expose those kids to access and opportunity, into learning more about business, being, having mentors and individuals that look like them, that don't look like them, but are exposing them to the broader ecosystem, the better. We used to do this thing where, you ask the kids what they want to be when they grow up. And, 95% of the kids would say, I want to be a rapper, a pro athlete, or, something in entertainment. And that's just because that's what they see on TV. They don't see the success stories of, local business owners, doing well, or the Robert Smiths of the world, or those individuals who have done very well for themselves. That isn't in their algorithm, right? And so exposing them to more of that is a critical piece of what, our mission is as a company, but also my mission personally.
Awesome. So I think that's a good segue. One of the things, as you know, one of the areas that, for Genesis Bank that we're passionate about is really trying to super serve those business owners who have been traditionally overlooked by, the traditional banking system, right? And so when you think about access to opportunities, access to relationships, and what you were talking about, in your entrepreneurial journey, what are some of the points of access that you've seen that have been detrimental to the growth of a business? And what are some things that maybe we can do to open up that access, to bring more business owners into the fold?
That's a great question. And I don't know if they're still here, but I was talking to Odest earlier, and he was saying that he lost deals because he couldn't get a trust account opened, and reached out to Genesis Bank, and you guys got him one in a week, right? So that's meaningful. I mean, these are pivotal deals, for the growth of their business. And so it's things like that. It's having institutions that understand the dynamics of entrepreneurship and the intricacies of that, but also, it's not a one-size-fits-all model. Our balance sheet and our cash flows and inflows are different, every month, right? And that's indicative of most small businesses. And so having a partner in a bank that understands that and helps you kind of navigate that is critical to the success of many businesses. And so I'm super grateful, for the partnership that I have with Genesis, because it's been fantastic for us.
Yeah, awesome. So obviously at your level of success, right? There's mentors may be hard to find, right? So who are some of the mentors or folks that inspire you, or now, or have inspired you in the past in your kind of entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to go to Stanford University, so I have a fair amount of mentors from there. But through just my network, I've been able to meet some really interesting people. There's a gentleman here in Orange County, Alex Bethal. Him and his family are co-owners of the Sacramento Kings. He was our first investor, right? But he's also been a mentor, and we've done multiple deals together. He's helped me see around corners a bit. I know that's not a normal mentor for many people, but having access to an individual like that has been fantastic. But I've also gotten to meet individuals like I said, like Robert Smith, or David Grain, or a multitude of other individuals that have been wildly successful in the business ecosystem. So what I've done is really tried to leverage my Stanford life, my professional life, to get in the room. If you kind of layer in the fact that I played pro sports for a long time, you understand that a lot of people love sports, right? And so I can get into conversations, but then do I have the substance to kind of maintain those conversations and keep moving forward? And so I think I've found a good balance with that. That's helped me, really kind of grasp or grab onto, hang on to some great mentors, over the 3 or 4 years I've been in business.
That's awesome. So you'll appreciate this. Magic Johnson literally said that was one of his superpowers. He knew that as an athlete, folks would want to, at minimum, meet him. And so he would request meetings with successful business owners, and all of them would accept the meeting. And then he would learn about business that way. So sounds like you've taken a nice, similar approach.
Absolutely. But I say also, I wasn't afraid to put myself out there either. I am notorious for cold LinkedIning people and emailing people and just striking up conversation, because I think that's important, and it shows that I am serious about what I'm trying to do, and I am humble in my approach. So you have to lean into those relationships. You have to be a pest sometimes. You just can't be too proud to lean into asking for help.
Yeah. Awesome. So when you think about kind of the, walk us through, like, what's a typical Josh Childress day? Because I know how you accumulate miles. So walk us through a typical Josh Childress day.
Am I home or am I on the road?
You're on the road. Let's walk us through a typical business day.
I'll do a home day. Home is a little easy. All right.
Yeah.
So I have 3 young kids. My youngest is 3. So she is my alarm clock in the morning. So she gets me up between 5:30 and 6.
Wow.
Yeah, she's up, man. So that wakes me up in the morning. I live in Anaheim Hills, not too far from here. So I do a 3-mile walk in the morning to just start my day with some exercise. I spend the morning with the girls, and then I'm off to the office. And my office is right over here by South Coast Plaza, filled with lunch meetings, Zoom meetings, but really it's I've tried to lean into being as productive as I possibly can. As you can imagine, people don't mind taking up time on Zoom, so you got to be very strategic with that. But it is, trying to close deals, trying to grow my business, and trying to, make my mom proud, basically.
Awesome. So, what's the future? What is the future for Josh Childress, business-wise, personally and professionally?
The future for Josh Childress, we're going to own a bunch of stadiums, arenas, training facilities. We're going to continue to double down on the sports ecosystem, invest in teams and leagues when we have the opportunity. I want to continue to do a ton of work in the community. I have a scholarship program through my foundation where we have done, kind of 2 unique things. One, we were the first ever summer study scholarship at Stanford University. So any of the basketball team that wants to stay on campus in the summer and take extra courses, we pay for that. So that's been a blessing. And then we provide 5 college scholarships to students at my high school, Mayfair High School in Lakewood. So that's on the philanthropic side. It's super important for me, and I just want to be a good dad, man. Stay in shape, try to lose a little weight that I put on during the pandemic, and I haven't been able to get off. And just enjoy life,
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. You'll appreciate this. You actually awarded a scholarship to Mekhi Brown, and I actually am friends with his family, so it's a very small world. We'll leave it there. Round of applause for Josh Childress.
Thank you.